Om Namah Shivaya. Episode 104, Chapter 17, verses 23 to 28. Om Tat Sat is the threefold expression of Brahman. Brahman is the pure consciousness that is pervading the entire universe, the absolute truth, which is the Atma in all. Brahman as Ishvara, with pure knowledge and having Maya under his control, is continuously creating, sustaining, and dissolving the universe. Ishvara as Lord Brahma is the creator, and in the beginning of this creation, Om Tat Sat came out from Lord Brahma, then everything was created. Therefore, Om Tat Sat has become very important words. This chapter began with Arjuna's question about people who perform rituals with Shraddha, but without completely following all the stipulations in the Shastra. In terms of their gunas, are their actions sattvika, rajasika, or tamasika? So far in this chapter, Sri Krishna taught that whatever rituals or actions we do, like the deities we worship, the type of food we eat, the type of rituals we do, whatever religious disciplines we follow, charities we give, etc., must be sattvika. We must avoid rajasika and tamasika actions. Now, Sri Krishna further teaches that even if our actions are sattvika, there will still be some omissions and commissions in doing our sattvika actions. This could either be due to ignorance, haste, some distraction, non-availability of certain materials, etc. The Shastra says this can be made up by saying Om Tat Sat at the beginning and at the end of our actions. This creates a certain force that neutralizes all the omissions and commissions to make our actions efficacious. The complete sentence is Om Tat Sat Ishvara Arpanam Astu Om. Let this be an offering unto Ishvara, the law of Dharma that is governing the universe. This is the essence of Karma Yoga, doing our duties for the purification of our minds and qualify for the knowledge of Brahman to be liberated. Verse 23 tells, first, Om Tat Sat is the threefold expression of Brahman. Om Tat Sat iti nirdesha brahmanas trividha smrita. This is mentioned in the Vedanta Shastra and by those who know the Vedanta Shastra. Om by itself means Brahman, as stated in the Upanishad Vakya, Om iti Brahma. Tat by itself indicates Brahman, as it does in the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, we are that, we are Brahman. Sat is used for Brahman in the sense of existence. All these three words, Om Tat Sat, independently and together stands for Brahman and reveals Brahman. Second, by that the Brahmanas, the Vedas, and rituals were created in the beginning. Brahmanas tena Vedascha yajñascha vihita pura. The word Brahmana represents the four groups of human beings. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sutra. There are 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda. These are our Sastra. The Sastra teaches human beings how to do yajnas and our righteous duties as an offering to Ishvara's law of Dharma. By listening, analyzing, and contemplating upon the words of the Sastra, we learn to do our duties to purify our minds and not to fulfill our desires. This qualifies us for the knowledge of Brahman and be liberated. This means that from the beginning of this creation, in Om Tat Sat, the threefold expression of Brahman, Ishvara has given human beings the Vedas, the secret of how to do our righteous duties and achieve the purpose of human birth, moksha. Next, we are going to deal with each of these words in detail. Verse 24 tells the benefit of pronouncing Om. The 3 types of tapas, physical, mental, and oral religious discipline, can be made proper by first pronouncing Om. Therefore, those who know the Vedanta Sastra, Tasmat Brahma Vadinam, as mentioned in the injunction of the Vedas, Vidhana Ukta, always Satatam, began all activities like rituals, charities, religious discipline, yajna, dana, tapaha, kriya, by first pronouncing Om. Om iti udahritya pravartante. At the beginning of a ritual, Om is pronounced by the priest, and only then the ritual begins. Then throughout the performance of the ritual, Omkara is repeatedly pronounced. All actions, all mantras at all time must begin with Om, because Om purifies everything. It is such a sacred sound that it makes all our activities complete, as if it was done according to the stipulation of the Sastra. By simply pronouncing Om, even our speech becomes purified. Our actions become complete. However, merely pronouncing Om without Shraddha in Brahman, in Parameshvara, in the injunction of the Sastra, will not improve the quality of our Rajasika and Tamasika activities. Verse 25 tells the benefit of pronouncing Tat. Pronouncing Tat as per the Mahavakya Tattvamasi, we are that, we are Brahman, indicates Brahman is the cause of everything. For those who want freedom, liberation, moksha kanshibi, begin by pronouncing Tat before various activities such as rituals, religious discipline, and charitable activities are performed. Yajna, tapaha kriya, dana kriya cha vivida kriyante. All these activities are performed without any desire of fulfilling their binding desires. Phalam anabhisantaya. It is done purely for the purification of the mind, as an offering to Ishvara, the law of Dharma that is governing the universe. Tat is also pronounced to please Ishvara. Ishvara Prityartha. Generally, Tat is not used alone, but in the expression Om Tat Sat or Tattvamasi, etc. Verses 26 and 27 tells how Sat is used in different senses, all of which are good. Verse 26 tells, first, Sat is used with reference to bringing into existence something that was not there before, Sat Bhave. For example, the birth of a child, meaning now the child is. The previously non-existent child is born to a given person. Since Sat is used in the sense of existence, Parameshwara Brahman is the only existence in this creation. Thus, Sat is purifying, Pavitra. Parameshwara is Satyam, whereas the creation is Mithya. The creation has its existence in Parameshwara Brahman. For example, when we say the creation is, that is Sat, Parameshwara Brahman. Second, and it is used with reference to living a righteous life, Sadhu Bhavecha. When we live a dharmic life, we are called Sat Purusha. Association with righteous people is called Satsang. In that sense also, this word Sat is used. Sat iti etat prayujyate. Third, so to Arjuna, this word Sat is used with reference to sanctifying karmas. Prasaste karmani tata Sat chapta partha yujyate. For example, marriage is considered a good karma, Sat karma, as it sanctifies an important event in our lives. Verse 27 further tells what Sat is used for. First, being committed to some pursuit, like being committed to the performance of rituals, religious discipline, and giving of charity are considered to be Sat. Yajne tapasi dane cha sthiti Sat iti cha ujyate. Provided it is done with Shraddha, and that appropriate attitude is considered Sat. Second, and indeed, an action done as an offering to Ishvara is also called Sat. Karma cha eva tat artiyam Sat iti eva abhidhyate. Similarly, all actions dedicated to Ishvara are called Sat Karma. This can also be non-religious activities that are done in conformity to Dharma, because Dharma itself is Parameshwara Brahman. Using Om Tat Sat without Shraddha is useless. All our actions must be done with Shraddha in the existence of Parameshwara and according to the injunction of the Sastra. When all our actions are done as an offering to Ishvara, it purifies our mind and qualifies us for the knowledge of Brahman to be liberated. These are the answers to Arjuna's question in verse 1. The efficacy of doing our action depends entirely upon the kind of Shraddha we have. Only when we have Sattvika Shraddha, everything righteous can be achieved. Verse 28 tells, anything that is offered without Shraddha is not to be given. First, that which is offered without Shraddha in a religious ritual is as good as not done. Ashraddhaya hutam yat. Usually in a fire ritual, ghee is offered as an oblation into the fire. While we are offering ghee into the fire, if a thought arises that we are wasting the ghee, that means we have no shraddha in the injunction of the Shastra. Some people argue that it should be used to feed the poor. If such thought arises, that offering does not serve its purpose. It is as good as not done. The fact is, tins of ghee are offered as oblation in a fire ritual that are meant for the good of both the rich and the poor, for the benefit of the nation. If this is not understood, such ignorant argument can undermine our shraddha. Second, similarly, what is given as charity, dattam, what is performed as religious discipline, tapas taptam, and if these actions are done merely to gain a good name or fear of being condemned for not doing them, etc., such actions are called asat, that which does not serve its purpose, O son of Partha. Kritam cha asat iti uchyate Partha. And that which is not fruitful after death, and indeed not here. Na cha tat pritya no iha. Shraddha in the injunction of the Shastra is the most important requirement for gaining the knowledge of Brahman. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. This will lead us to discover that truly we are Satchit Ananda Atma, Brahman. That we are not this body, mind, senses that is subject to birth and death, happiness and sorrow, etc. This is freedom, moksha, freedom from the limitation of our body, mind, senses while living as human beings. Om Tat Sat Ishvara Arpanamastu Om. With this we conclude chapter 17 entitled Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Chapter 18 is entitled Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. It's a summary of the entire Gita given at the end of our study. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashisate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.